These are not the droids that you're looking for. No, it's not a Jedi mind trick what I do, and it's not rocket science. And I thought this morning that if I gave you a couple little pieces that, way that I used language with people who are more contrary, who are more contentious, that it might be something that you could use yourself. So one way of thinking about people's communications is that there will be patterns of communication. Somebody who basically is always being stubborn or being argumentative is displaying a pattern of behavior, maybe in a particular context. And in my job, that gets in the way of them accomplishing what they want to accomplish. My favorite, one of my favorite stories, this fellow comes to see me for hypnosis, and everything I said to him, he answered yes, but. Now, the but negates everything before what came, negates everything that came before it. So, yes, Wesley, you're doing a good job, but I'm not getting any results. And this was very frustrating to me, okay, because nothing I could say to him would work, because he'd go, yes, but. And I wondered, what do I do with this? And so I came up with an idea, and so I started every sentence to him with the word but, and finished with yes. But you are here to make changes in your life. Yes. But you must believe it's possible, or you wouldn't be here talking to me. Yes. And what happened, his response was beautiful, because he's a bit confused. Reversing that pattern took him out of his normal little ruts of how he was communicating, and so that opened up the possibility for him to make the changes that he wanted. There's some research that's been done that show about 97% of the time we're on autopilot. When I came in this morning, I saw people, I said hello, I said their names, there was eye contact, and this is all automated behaviors. When you meet somebody, you shake hands with them, you go through that little piece of social interaction, and we don't have to think about what do we do. Oh, there's another human being. I could stick my hand out. These things are just on autopilot. And so when somebody's being contentious, or when they're being resistant, if you would, then that's a pattern that they have. And one of the things we can do is when we notice those patterns, we can utilize them to help them shift their thinking. So, yes, butters, okay, but yes. Another thing we can do is someone who's a yes butter, whether they say yes or not, as part of the pattern, is that if you think about somebody who says, you know, I really need marketing help for my company, and you're talking to Hamza, I really need some help for my marketing help in my company. My website isn't doing what I want it to, but I don't really think I can afford it. So Hamza might respond, well, you don't really think you can afford it, but you really need some help for your website. Now what that does is, the last thought in this person's mind is, you really need some help for the website. And then Hamza could go on, I understand that you have some financial difficulties. It's common in these days when there's when the economy is the way that it is, but by improving your marketing in an effective way, you can increase your revenues and be able to afford not only the marketing, but to go to Hawaii for that vacation you and the wife have been talking about for all these years. So we can take these patterns and reverse them in such a way that it's putting the thought that's in that person's best interest last in their mind. That's where their focus is going to end up. So, yes, Wesley, but I don't know if I can do this. Well, you don't really know if you can do this, but if you take a little time and begin practicing these skills, you'll find in experience whether they're working for you. So, another little pattern I had in mind, and it'll come back to me. what you're beginning to recognize is that what I'm looking for is these little patterns in how people speak. So the way, what we can do is in noticing these things, we can mirror them back. So one of the things about using yes, but patterns and reversing things is that this person is going to feel that you understand where they're coming from, because you're reflecting it back to them. Now, changing the order doesn't mean is going to have an effect on them, and what they're going to get is, oh, he appreciates I've got budgetary constraints. Okay, and then you've got budgetary constraints, and I really need to do something to improve my business. The website's one of those ways in which I can do it. So this person feels that they're being appreciated, they're being understood, and then that allows them to open up a little bit to the ideas that are being presented. So once we can communicate in these not rocket science ways, we can learn these little patterns and begin using them. Oh, another thing too is something called tag questions. So a tag question is a sentence that gives somebody something to disagree with. And a tag question would be the little form like, isn't it, doesn't it, won't you? So you can understand this, can't you? Would be an example of a tag question. The person who typically disagrees has something to disagree with, the can't you. One of my teachers, Dave Dobson, used to say, well, I don't know if you're smart enough to take this and use it for yourself. This is a little bit more challenging than I would like to do with my clients, and so I'll say there are people who just are not intelligent enough to take these ideas and run with them. Now, the contrarian person is going to go, well, yeah, I can do this. I'm perfectly smart enough to do this. I'm going to put together a handout with a little explanation of these patterns. If you'd like one, send me your card and write handout on it, and I will email you a PDF. Wesley Anderson, Doctor of Clinical Hypnotherapy.